So if you look at what the industry's been talking about over the last decade, it's been, cross-screen, frequency capping, cross-channel, all those things have been kind of front of mind for as long as I can remember. But there's always been something that's been missing that enabled that capability, which is really the data assets required to understand exposure cross-channel and how to then understand how to optimize a campaign to effectively give you incremental reach or at least control exposures cross-channel. And I'm here today to kind of talk about the technology that's been developed at FreeWheel that is working with a lot of our partners and a lot of our clients that unlock this capability in actuality, as opposed to all the proxies we've used historically, whether it was understanding exposure at an zip code level using an index or some sort of cockamamie panel. We're really looking at using our FreeWheel Strata technology in conjunction with our ad exposure data from some of the biggest publishers in the world to understand linear exposure and then being able to target on CTV or addressable to give you real incremental reach and understanding frequency capping across publishers and across channel. And this is a really exciting capability because we think this is really kind of the evolution television needed to make, which is holistically being able to understand overall channel exposure and using different distribution methods to reach consumers in new ways without inundating them with ads as they go into different channels to be able to engage with content.
Well, let's see, we have the midterm elections coming up, and there's a lot of speculation about how much is going to be spent on television, video, linear, everything. I've seen numbers as high as $9 billion, let's say. So why do you think political campaigns are actually running toward this kind of solution first, aside from the timing of midterms?
Great question. I think it really comes down to political agencies have always had a focus on data. And the way they've done their kind of optimization techniques by using polling makes this a very interesting capability. They can take their existing linear campaigns and their schedules, ingest that into the tools, understand actual exposure at the household and people level, and then be able to construct CTV campaigns, helping them really target the people who haven't heard the messages of their candidates, or potentially even try and deliver duplicate impressions to them so that they can actually get a share of voice within those households and people can kind of be exposed to messages that matter and resonate with them. The reason why political agencies are running faster than others, I think it has a lot to do with the belief that the hyper-targeted one-to-one kind of world of CTV creates a different dynamic for their political campaigns and a different battleground. Linear has obviously been critical, gives them scale, gives them an ability to reach consumers in those highly contested markets, but the CTV actionable capabilities of bringing data assets to bear really drive a differentiated kind of ROI for those advertisers.
Now, looking ahead, what do you expect to see? What kinds of changes do you expect to see within the industry with these new capabilities? As you said earlier, people have talked a lot about trying to have cross-platform reach, especially as consumer viewing habits have changed and the growth of streaming in the past couple of years. So what do you see ahead?
Look, when I pull out my crystal ball, there are a couple things that I see in the future. I mean, for people who may not be familiar with FreeWheel, we've been powering the television and advertising industry for about 10 years. And over those 10 years, our clients' businesses have evolved, and so has FreeWheel's offering. These kind of new capabilities to me represent FreeWheel's new core focus, which is about connecting advertisers and agencies directly with publishers and distributors and helping to power the next generation of TV to help them transact. I think the capabilities we're bringing to bear in terms of making data assets available for targeting and planning and measurement without exposing them to buy sides and leaking that data is something that the industry has been waiting for, which wasn't available or possible, years ago without the advent of clean rooms, federated data storage, overall new techniques for activation that help them be more effective. So when I look into the future, I see a bright world for television, and I see really data-driven one-to-one television becoming one of the most important channels within advertising.